what a day, guys. Incredible, isn't it? I mean, obviously outdoors means a lot to us, but how much has it meant to us over the past year?
I think more so than ever because of lockdown and the fact that it's felt very suffocating to be in all the time at home. I really appreciate the outdoors more.
For me, it was always about going somewhere else, whereas now I've really started to value my local environment.
I've met up with friends at distance to go for walks, things that I probably would take for granted before. I'm now actually appreciating it, even now just sitting here hearing the birds. I'm noticing things I'd never really take in as much before. It's beautiful. We're lucky because in Britain there are some amazing places.
Pre-lockdown, my life was so busy, but it was ultimately structured. You know, I would have to, the day before, I'd have to look at what the diary said the following day to know what I was doing. There was so much in there. And then all of a sudden it just went quick. And I think one of the real problems was that sort of loss of structure, which then led to in part, a loss of purpose. On a day when you wake up and you lie in bed and you think, you know, why am I getting out of bed? I think that's a really dangerous place to be, for me personally. And I think that loss of structure can often lead to a loss of purpose, a loss of reason to be. And the end cascade of that, I think, is apathy. And that's a really dangerous place to be, because then that apathy then becomes pervasive and other things follow that.
My life without being able to go outside would be over. Like, yes, I like watching TV, yes, I like relaxing at home, but nothing can replicate getting outside, breathing that air, whether it's walking the dog, whether it's going for a run, being on the push bike. Being able to get outside is everything to me.
What we're talking about is the sort of difference between a fluctuating mood. So, you know, we feel a little bit tired, or we feel a little bit bored, a little bit sad. It's the difference between that and something that becomes much more ingrained and much more chronic and long term. And so I think what's really important is that in response to those short term issues is that we should be creating solutions, creating a plan about how we're going to stop that happening and how we're going to move forward from it.
If I can't be bothered to go out and exercise, it's a pure mindset thing for me. I've never come home from going for a little jog feeling worse than when I left. It's all about opening that door, taking that step, that leap of faith, getting out, breathing that air, relaxing, switching off, do your thing. Coming here today, seeing you guys swim and that, it's so beautiful here. Have you swum more then because of lockdown?
Yeah, definitely. And it's completely changed my perspective. Certainly from a mental health point of view, there's something about swimming. Is
that where you think it's made the greatest benefit in terms of that mental health?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I do it. I do cold water swimming for mental health rather than physical health. You know, the fact that I'm slowly building up my strength and my stamina with the swimming is great, and I'm determined as well. I'm going to relearn how to front crawl. So any tips?
After you've seen Eric the eel yesterday.
I know, unbelievable.
No, you make it look easy, to be fair. You're so good at it, it's just effortless.
Yeah.
I spent a lifetime submerged though, so
yes,
that's all it is. Yeah.
For me personally, it's been a challenging year, but I've discovered swimming, I've discovered a whole new community through it, a whole purpose to what I'm doing, and something that is going to help me move forward with my life. So that's been incredibly valuable to me.
Oh gosh, my happy place is incredibly important to me. Since having my breakdown, I've learned a whole host of strategies. Like, I almost have a toolkit that I access to help me manage my mental health on a daily basis. And knowing that there are things that I can do that are really proactive to support that. For instance, climbing a mountain or a hill, or just going for a walk. And then more recently, the cold water swimming it's like a security blanket for me.
When you're in a happy place, you take things for granted, but it doesn't matter who you are, what you do for a living. I think we're all going to unfortunately have down days and challenging times in our lives. And for me, it was the toughest time when I bottled it up and I didn't talk to people about how low I was feeling, because I felt I can't show any weakness, and it isn't a weakness, but I thought at the time it would be weak of me to say, hang on, I'm struggling here. There I was, this physically strong guy who made a living out of being strong and fast and good at what I did, but that was hurting, and I didn't want to tell people that was hurting. But Now I'm a bit older, a bit wiser, I can honestly guarantee by talking about something, it makes it go away, or at least it feels you've shared that issue, that problem, and you feel better. So talk, exercise, and just realise you're not alone. If you're having a down day, millions of people are. You're not alone in your thoughts. Just get out there and try and manage it as well as you can.
Very short periods of physical activity make a really big difference. We tend to talk about 30 minutes of physical activity a day on most days of the week will have a profound impact on health, both physical, mental, emotional health. But actually, all movement counts. Any movement will have a positive effect. And to some extent, we don't need a very expensive gym membership. You don't need to wear spandex. You just need to move more and more often. And in doing that, you can reduce the risk of illness.
I've really begun to value how beautiful this country is. I mean, just listen, you know, the birds, the wind, just everything about being outdoors is brilliant. Yeah, it's not so nice when it's cold, it's winter, it's raining, but it is beautiful still for different reasons. I love being outdoors.
If exercise was a pill, it would be the biggest selling drug on the planet. And yet for all of us, it is free. It is free to access. You can exercise in home, but all you need to do is open the front door and just step outside. And just going for a walk, just being active will make a difference. And it is free of charge. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need a great deal of knowledge. Just become more active. And all of a sudden you'll start to see improvements in your health.